Good evening, everybody. I'm Scott. This is Davion, and this is a little bit of a unique episode of Tales from the Film Set because Rob Manning is currently flying back from the Rhode Island Comic Con, and Ryan is actually currently out on assignment at a movie screening. So in this case, it's just the two of us. We can make it if we try, and I should not be singing that because I have no singing voice. So we might run a little shorter today, depending on how things play out a little bit. We're not really sure. But in the meantime, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastically well, everyone. Scott, you're awesome. Let's get this up and running.
Yes, let's get this rolling here. We're going to, like I said, cut this out a little bit. Next week, we'll probably talk Rhode Island Comic Con. We might talk the Marvels. We're going to talk Five Nights at Freddy's because in this case here, it's doing pretty darn well. And it is right now kind of neck and neck with Taylor Swift's concert, which I find fascinating. Yeah. However, I got to get this out of my system first. Okay. Back in 2013, we saw the premiere of Attack on Titan Season 1.
Right.
2020, we saw the premiere of Attack on Titan Season 4, the final season. Then 2021, we saw the second part. And then in 2022, we saw the third part. And then which by the way, was only 2 hours. And then finally over the weekend, after 3 full years of Season 4, we finally reached the end of Season 4. The manga has been done for years at this point, and they finally got to getting the finale out there. I'm going to give my thoughts on it. I'm going to give my opinions on what I feel about the finale, if it lived up to the hype on it. Fair warning, this is pure, unadulterated spoilers of all of Season 4. If you have not seen Attack on Titan, if you have not read the manga, you've not seen it, and you do not want to get spoiled, you see, I put spoilers in big gigantic letters down there to let you guys know that we are going to be spoiling the heck out of this. In 3, 2, 1, Eren dies. Straight up front, if you are familiar with the series, you have seen the fact that Eren Yeager, our protagonist, the entire part of the series, has made it a point to try and ensure that his home will be safe from Titans. In Season 3, you find out that all of the humans that live there, they're called Eldians, on an island called Paradise Island, were sent there because of the fact that they were viewed as inferior to a group of the rest of the population called Marlians.
Right.
So as a result, what does he do? He declares war on the Marlians and therefore the rest of the world. So at the end of Season 3, he realizes to keep his island and his home safe, he has to actually declare war on the rest of the planet and frankly go full Hitler. During the course of the series in Season 4, he gains access to all of basically pretty much all the Titan powers and declares war on the rest of the planet to save his own home. In the process, he kills 80% of the population of the entire world in this. Ultimately being undone because Mikasa, his love interest, maybe not love interest, the one over there, she, alongside Armin and basically a lot of the people both on Paradise Island and also the people, the Marlians themselves, including the one that started the war in the first place, Reiner, all fight Eren and ultimately manage to win. And Mikasa kills and decapitates Eren Yeager to finally stop the war after everything is said and done. What I found interesting about this is I was captivated. The manga for the remaining part of that manga, it was coming out usually around the 7th to the 8th to the 9th of every month. So right at the start of the month, usually right about now, I would catch the next chapter of this to basically find out what was going to happen and be 100% captivated all the way through this.
Wow.
The anime kept to the manga. It kept very, very, very closely to the manga. In the storyline, Eren basically, once he gets the founding Titan's powers, has the ability to travel back and forth into his own timeline and into the timeline of any Eldian. So he actually, his final self, at that point, at the end of the series, set everything in motion to start the entire war, to start the war against his home, to have basically his mother get eaten in front of him, to start the entire process. He is the reason all of it happened.
Wow.
Yes. He went straight on and he made everything, he orchestrated everything from the present timeline at the end of the series. So he basically set up everything in motion. He set up everything where Mikasa's parents were killed. He set it all up. And the reason being because he realized there is no way for his home to be safe unless he brought everything basically in the technologically advanced rest of the world down to the level of his little island. So in the process, he declared war on the rest of the planet, killed 80% of the people, and then a team up of Mikasa, Armin, and the rest of them were responsible for the death of Eren Yeager. This was one of the biggest shocking turns ever because Eren had always been the hero type. He had, he developed powers. Nobody understood them. They were afraid of him, but they saw it as an asset and saw hope. He was the protagonist. He was the hope. And at the end of it, he has to fight the rest of the world and knows that he is going to die at the end of it just to be able to bring equality down. Now, what made this very interesting, and the manga and the anime did the exact same thing. Usually in storylines like this, and by the way, a couple people just popped in. This is spoilers for the finale of Attack on Titan. Fair warning on that. One of the things that I found fascinating about this is that usually at the end of this sort of thing, there's some kind of a solace, some kind of a happy ever after. There isn't one. They start forward 3 years where it turns out that a group of cultists called the Jaegerists, who were introduced in season 4, loyal to him, have now basically become the world's superpower. So the people that were following him now have repeated the cycle and now are becoming the the aggressors as opposed to the people being destroyed. Multiple decades later, you see buildings being formed, you see buildings being destroyed in war. They build up again, they be destroyed by war. It showed the endless cycle of violence that never stops. So usually with something like this, there would be peace. They would show some kind of an upbeat ending. This was like, nope, we are going to show this thing as dark as we can and show that basically it doesn't matter what you do, violence will always find a way. And that is how the series ends.
So they just went through a darker turn besides a happy ending.
Yeah.
So, in other words, ladies and gentlemen, like I do have a question. Like with this series, so it's like an ongoing cycle. Like, was that a snake eating its tail?
Yeah.
So it's like a never-ending cycle. Like nobody tried to find peace. Nobody tried to find some type of answers. Dang, that reminds me of too much of what's going on in the world today. But anyway,
it was surprising, yeah, because usually they would show some semblance of a happy ending, and this was like, no, you just stop the violence for the moment, but it's going to come back.
Dang.
And I was like, oh, dude, it's not wrong, but it's surprising a little bit.
Yeah.
And in the end, Mikasa had to be the one to kill Eren Yeager, and Mikasa was always praised to be one of the strongest characters out there and always respected for being kind of just a pure badass. Not any like the Hollywood style of badass. She was flawed. She had, things about her that were not perfect, but she was still one of the strongest fighters in there and always gained a lot of credibility and respect for being a badass. It is interesting in this particular pick here. If you look at it, that is actually Eren Yeager's severed head being held by Mikasa, who decides to bury him underneath the tree he took a nap on. He used to sleep out a lot just so he can find some degree of rest.
Wow.
Fast forward a bunch of decades, her grave is next to his. And yeah.
And that's how that's how you can tell true love is true love.
Yeah, but
in a darker tone.
Oh boy, yeah. It's like basically like, if Eva Gabor had killed off Adolf Hitler, kind of a thing.
Right.
But Eva Braun, I'm sorry, not Eva Gabor, Eva Braun, sorry. But in this case, her unwielding loyalty to the one who saved her life all those years prior. And in the end, she ends his. And it was really, 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 like I said, dark on that. So I was kind of surprised.
Right.
So, and by the way, you know what? Here, I should do that. Hang on a sec. I just realized that basically that caption's a little too long. So I apologize for that. No, but I know you saw a little bit of it.
Yeah. Like watching the first season, I just gave up on it because it felt like I took my whole Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it becomes this big phenomenon at New York Comic-Con, at San Diego Comic-Con, at all the anime conventions and stuff. Everybody talks about Attack on Titan. So for this to have this type of ending, I think it actually basically did what it's supposed to do. And not only that, it had a good payday.
Yes. It was a dark payday.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they showed, you know, the Titans as they rumbled, what they're referred to as the rumbling. They showed the Titans crushing people. You know, people falling off the side of a cliff to try and just get away because there's nothing else they can do. They showed everything that the manga had showed. You know, there was a bit in season 4, and they showed it in the manga too, where at one point Aaron Yeager's talking to a couple of kids and he starts crying because he realizes what he has to do. And it's interspersed with basically the rumbling itself. And you see these little kids and you see him and he's crying in front of them. He's like, I'm so sorry for what I have to do. And then you see the kid and the kid's trampled.
Mm.
And it was just like, oh man. Not usually the anime or manga I typically read because I used to try to go for lighter stuff, but yeah, honestly, all things considered, it was really, really phenomenal.
Mm.
But supposedly there's another 18 pages coming out with a little bit of a side story in the near future. But I think after 10 years of anime and God knows how long of the manga, I don't even know at this point. I think at this point, this series is pretty much done now.
And I hate to say it, but it looks like I'm going to have to watch all the seasons and waste pretty much my whole Saturday and weekday.
Hang on a second. Let me see how long. I'm pulling a binge clock right now just to see how long this is.
I'm trying to twist my neck like Stan from South Park. Like when he does that. Are you for real?
By the way, we have not talked about Into the Pandaverse, which honestly I haven't even seen.
Yes.
I haven't even seen that yet.
I saw it.
Did you?
Yes.
I've heard it says a lot of things that many, many YouTubers have actually talked about.
Yes.
Okay.
And took shots at the mouse.
Yes, and specifically Kathleen Kennedy, by my understanding. Yes. I'm trying to be as spoiler-free as possible. You know, because I'm not until I actually see it do I really want to know about it. But yeah, basically just ripping on Kathleen Kennedy for everything she's done to so many IPs and so many franchises.
Which I love Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And what South Park is saying in this particular episode, it's true. Come on, the audience is agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it. Where's the magic, Disney? I'm sorry, where's the magic? Because right now, South Park and other anime shows that has no principles to deal with you are making that magic, but in a more comedic aspect to us adults. We remember going to Disneyland and enjoying the fact that we had the mouse, we had the cartoons, and it's just that you keep recycling the same thing and just changing the concept over and over and over till you beat it to our head. It's like, okay, we're going to do Snow White. Oh, this
Did that get canceled, like for real though? This Snow White and the Seven Magical Creatures.
I have no idea. At this moment, the girl that's starring it is digging her own grave.
Rachel Zegler, Jersey represent, by the way.
Not all Jersey people are the same. Just to let y'all know.
It's funny. I saw her a few months ago on that movie Y2K because I did a couple of days before the strike showed up. You know, and it was local to the house. It was great, but I saw her for 2 days, and then shortly after that, it was like Snow White, and all this stuff came out. I was like, well, that's bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's just the fact that when you even with the Blade film, they're talking about making Blade.
Fourth on the call sheet.
LBGT, and I'm like, where in the comic book he was ever LBGT?
Not just LGBT, but also there are 3 female protagonists and then Blade. And in the movie, it's supposed to be showing discussing real life values, and real, and planting real life ideas. And that's part of the reason why the actor was like, dude, the shit, man.
And it's like, no wonder he was questioning about the film. He's been leaving because of the toxicity of the film.
Yeah.
He's like, look, this is not what I signed up for. This is not the character. Marvel pretty much made what Blade was. And then you're going to.
Well, see, the part of the problem with Blade is the fact that Wesley Snipes was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the second one was the first. Actually, the first one I ever saw was the second one, which is still my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah.
But he handled those so well, and he did such a great job with those films that there is an interesting bar already set for it. But yeah, I mean, the Disney ship is sinking, you know, and I can't fault them for being pissed about this because they're trying to push it in a different direction. It's not going to go anywhere.
Right. And all my thing, if what did, I mean, let me,
Uh-huh.
if the past didn't affect the currency,
Mm-hmm.
don't change it. You got the younger generation complaining. You
Yeah.
got the older generation complaining.
Well, the problem is now the big issue with with South Park, and this is what South Park did. They made the mistakes of Disney mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it was just YouTubers like Endymion or Critical Drinker or like Nerdrotic, okay, it's just this little pocket of the internet being assholes. Now, an Emmy Award winning series, which is known for its irreverence, took a shot at you.
Mm-hmm.
And now suddenly it's mainstream, it's on the radar because it wasn't just some dudes out of a basement, as they've been called. It
Right.
was it was a show that signed a $500 million deal with Paramount Plus, and they took the shot at you.
Right. And the one thing I have to give it up to Paramount Plus, they don't hold no punches.
I'm sure they were probably okay to take out a rival too at the same time,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, this is what Paramount Plus paid for. This
And
is what they paid these guys for.
exactly. And then, I was in New York and we happened to walk where they used to have the TRL and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
they took all that down and now it's Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
It's not CBS Viacom, it's Paramount Plus. MTV is owned by Paramount Plus. VH1 is owned by Paramount Plus.
Comedy Central too, is it?
Yep. Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, BET. Like,
BET's owned by Paramount, really?
yep.
No.
All that was all Viacom.
Okay. And then Viacom basically became
And it's like you're looking and you're like in amaze, like, yo, Paramount is really going at it with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And Paramount might pull off the win because Disney is like falling short. They don't know what type of audience you have. But the thing about it, you do have an audience that told you create something unique, create something different besides this woke message in every single genre, which you forcing down people's throats, like Marvel, Lucasfilms, your own product, Disney, and the Marvels. I'm sorry.
To be fair, you did like Ms. Marvel though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were I never saw it, but I knew you were a fan of it.
I'm a fan of it, but like I explained to people, Ms. Marvel makes sense because she's a woke character about women's empowerment and everything. But everybody else is not woke. It's just her because she has something to prove. That's where her and Iron Man always clash.
Well, apparently the directors, the Russo brothers, who directed the Avengers 3, they saw her and they were just like, we can't do anything with this character. There's nothing we can do because she would wipe Thanos off the map without a problem. So we need to get her out of this script. That's why she was barely in Endgame. Because they were looking at it, it's like this is too much of a cheat code right here. You're going to spoil the rest of your movie by bringing in this character who's kind of lukewarm a little bit. You know, I mean, personally, I think Captain Marvel would have been far better suited as a Phase 4 intro.
Right.
Because you brought her in when Avengers Endgame was supposed to be the finale for everybody, and it really was.
Yeah.
But you brought her in at the wrong time.
Pretty much because they want that woke aspect of women dominance or whatever dominance they were thinking. And I feel as though just create a good story and certain characters add them later on. Like you didn't even add the X-Men now.
Yeah.
Still, Fantastic Four.
You brought in John Krasinski for a cameo just to kill him off. you brought in Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier just to kill him off. Dude, it's like, what? Yeah.
And it's just the fact that I feel as though Disney is running around not realizing what the audience want. And people are hoping that Disney comes through and try to create something spectacular. And at this moment, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Where is the magic? It's like the magic is gone because you're so busy. We're going to relate to everybody I'm like, you can't. That's the part of film. That's the part of art. Not everybody is going to have that superhero moment.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are going to be that stand in that stand in whatever that just happens to walk the street.
Background blur number 8.
Right.
Pedestrian number 3, yeah.
But if you're going to create something, you create something original.
Mm-hmm.
Not just put everything original in something that's already established. Like Snow White. Keep it Snow White.
You know, it's funny. There's another Snow White movie being released right now.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting about it is that they're taking pot shots at the Disney version by talking about how they wanted to maintain the magic of the timeless classic and not change it and not deviate it from modern audiences. They went like full frontal, straight on, Disney. And I'm curious to see what happens with other Snow White.
And you know what? And they had all right to, because think about it. What is, like, you're doing another, Lion King, you're doing remakes, live action remakes, and you're like, we didn't ask for this. If we're going to ask for a remake or a live action one,
mm-hmm.
What's a good one that they could do that was an animation that they could do live action?
Well, they're doing Sword of the Stone. They're doing what was the other one I used to watch when I was a kid? Robin Hood. They're doing a live action Robin Hood, the one that involved the anthropomorphic animated animals.
Okay, so it's going to be CGI technically.
I guess, yeah. That's not. Is that live action? I guess technically you can say it is.
And to a certain extent. No, it's not live action. Thinking about it now.
Yeah.
But certain things I could see as a remakeable live action. Like even with The Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. Don't get me wrong. It's just that some of us feel as though the voice acting with certain characters weren't great.
My wife liked it. She really did, which, okay, fine. But it was not really the cup of tea that I had actually, like I said, I want to see stuff that I've never seen before. I want to see storylines that Ryan, for example, will see something, and watch it from the perspective of seeing a different person's take on it. One Piece, live action. Perfect example. He likes that kind of stuff. I can't get into it because it's like, I already know what happens. I want to be surprised. Now, what's interesting is I have been going through lately a lot of the animated DC stuff on HBO Max. I am really liking the heck out of every single one of them. Very few of the stories. I know some of the stories. I know a lot of the stories I don't know, but I like the work that has gone into it. I'm really, really being impressed with stuff that's Batman outside of Kevin Conroy.
Right.
I've been doing a lot of the Damian Wayne stuff for starters, and I've been really impressed. I saw one. I just finished up the Judas Contract, which I am familiar with, the one where they introduced Terra.
Yeah.
I knew that one from the comics, so it stayed pretty close. But by and large, a lot of these ones, I don't know what's going to happen. And I like not knowing. I like being surprised. So remakes burn me out because it's like, I already know what's going to happen. What do I care?
But when you do little tweaks, and we don't mean changing the character's origin unless it's necessary or unless it fits the description of the story. Like, to me, with the Red Hood character.
Yes, okay.
I feel that Jason Todd is black. I'm sorry. He'll be the first Black Robin to die. Like that.
Black guy, right?
But that's me. That's the way I think. And it's not wrong or right. Like I said, that's how I vision Jason Todd.
Okay.
As the first Robin that that dies and then brought back to life, and he's a black kid. Because most of the stuff you think about, you don't see like kid and orphan or something. Like he was a failed Robin. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a couple of certain things you could change and make it relatable to society, but in doing it good taste. That's the thing. It's all about doing it in good taste.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense. And I think Disney is just, change this, change that, but you're not looking at the good taste to it because you're looking at, we're just going to pander and make sure everybody looks good. No, not everybody fits the criteria.
By the way, just to show you what's on tap, there's a couple in here that actually I realized that we haven't touched on. So yeah, there's a second Lion King, Snow White. We talked about that already, which now, by the way, has been pushed off to 2025. Moana, Lilo and Stitch, Hercules. By the way, they're doing also. So you talked about live action. Live action Hercules could possibly work.
Yeah, that could work.
But they're doing a Hunchback movie.
That these could possibly work.
So
Robin Hood. Yeah. So all right, so let's go back.
Questlove is directing too. Interesting.
Who?
Questlove is directing the Aristocats.
That is going to be interesting. That may save Disney. Because if you got Questlove directing that Aristocats, you're looking at a wow. Wow. Yo. Wow. Now I gotta take my hat off of that one.
Now, obviously, in this case, this is really, really far out in the horizon, though.
But that makes sense. That could be the saving grace for Disney. Done right? You talk about what's that group? Oh God, Roots. Oh my God, yo! All you gotta do is have a good team of singers and actors in this live action. Oh my God, that would be freaking good.
It could work.
It's gonna be CGI. I already know it's gonna be CGI, but yo, just don't make it look like Cats, please, God, no.
Well, I was gonna say also don't let Awkwafina sing either.
She's in it?
No, but she was in Little Mermaid. And she had that rap song.
Okay, yeah. Okay. But if you're gonna let somebody like Questlove direct that, make sure you have cast the right people. Whoever's the casting director, you're gonna have to really dig deep and make sure you have certain people, and he's gonna do a phenomenal job. Because this could either make his career or break it.
I don't think he's gonna break it. I don't think he's gonna break it. I think his career is pretty solid as it is. It might just be one of those things that he just kind of wants to give it a shot. Now, this is still a TBA. He is linked to it. He's director of it, but there is no time frame on it. And with the writer's strike, SAG strike going on, I mean, it might be 2028 before the Aristocats becomes a live action movie.
2028. Yeah, I'll be in my 40s.
I mean, I'll be in my 50s. Yeah, because Moana right now is scheduled for June 2025, and they still have Lilo and Stitch, Hercules, Bambi, Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, and then the Aristocats.
And even with that, like Lilo and Stitch better because Lilo and Stitch got a fan base. Screw that up, Disney lost.
Well, also, I mean, Lilo and Stitch is only 20 years old, 21 years old.
But you got people that still talk about it.
True.
From the TV show to the movies.
There's a sequel or two in there too, I think.
Yeah. So if you screw that up, it's like a slap in the face to all those people that actually sat back and watched it and the creator of that show or the movie. So you better put your A game in this, Disney. Even with this, the Aristocats, oh my God.
It is a good, listen, why not? Give him a shot on that.
Yes.
I don't know if he's ever directed before, but.
Oh, yes, he did. He did a documentary film. Oh,
okay.
God. And it was really good. It was Summer Soul.
Okay.
So, oh my God, Aristocats, Questlove.
You're like, I'm sold. I'm ready.
I'm freaking sold. And Disney better not put their ideas in this. Let Questlove do his creative thing. Nothing else. Let him create the version he's looking at, and nobody put their foot in the door, put their foot in their mouth.
I think by that point, if it still ends up happening,
Yeah.
I think they might allow him creative control, because I think by that point, the people that are sticking their fingers into everything may be no longer involved with Disney. So they might allow a little more creative control, because certain other people that we previously mentioned via South Park may be out the door by that point. So there may be certain people in Disney, you know, I mean, heck, even Iger could be gone by that point.
Right.
They might give him a little more wiggle room. They might.
But Kathy Kennedy, she does have to go. I'm sorry. She messed up Star Wars. She messed up Indiana Jones. She messed up the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Not really messed it up. It's just that she add little tweaks here, there, and it's like it's unnecessary.
Well, speaking of, I figured just throw this out there real quick. If I could find it, where did I put it? Maybe I don't have the image. There it is. Right now, the Marvels is on track for a $50 to maybe $65 million opening weekend against a $275 million budget. That is brutally bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're still advertising. I still see ads for it all the time, but a lot of people just don't have any interest at this point. So it's going to be the latest Disney failure. Just seeing what this movie is going to be, you know, when this movie finally gets released, and the numbers. Are they going to do some kind of an Applebee's deal where you spend $35 and you get a free ticket like they did with Indiana Jones? I don't know.
No, because they feel as though they're going to have faith in this because it's a Marvel's film. I'm probably going to go see it just based on the fact this is a Marvel's movie, and I want to see what surprises that they're going to have in store, especially with the end credits. That's pretty much why people actually go to the movie, so they can see the end credits, so they can expect
the advertisement for the next movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But there are rumors that Brie Larson is supposed to be out.
I heard she wanted out for a while. You think they're going to kill her off, though?
No, either that or they could just do the whole, you know, like they did like the whole with the situation and just switch her to another.
Could be. You know, I mean, I like Brie Larson in Fast X. I really did.
Yeah.
Because she was a badass, but she was a likable badass. You know,
right.
That was what I think made it worthwhile. Here, she just looks pissed off. You know, and I did, like I said, I think it hurt the brand a little bit when they decided to try and go down that direction. And it was the first Marvel Disney failure. I mean, it did okay at the box. It made $1 billion, but I think they were expecting a lot more from it. And at this point, like I said, after 197 different Marvel projects, no, I think it's going to be another failure. You know, it's going to be another black eye in the series.
Like the only way I could see them probably if they do, like I said, the portal, like the whole switcheroo thing, and then she disappears somewhere, and then either A, we get a new Miss Marvel, or B, no, new Captain Marvel, sorry, a new female Captain Marvel, or B, we get introduced to Blue Marvel.
Okay.
So those are the two predictions I could see happening.
I don't know. I mean, you'll go take a look. You'll do the review of it. I'm sure that'll be fine. Yeah. You know, we'll find out how that plays out at that point. But again, this is a $275 million budget, and they're predicting 50 to 65 million opening weekend. So honestly, not that great compared to Rob's favorite movies right there.
Wait, what? Well, my favorite movie, one of our favorite movies. Well, I don't know about the other one.
So, Rob and Ryan have vastly different opinions when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Rob loved it. Ryan hated it to hell. But irrespective of that, It's currently at 215 million, but more so, almost 50-50 right down the middle
Right.
between domestic and global. I think it is plausible this movie may overtake Taylor Swift here.
But like I said to people, I really think that was the smartest move they ever did by making it PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I was saying rated R. Really, let me take that back. I'm the one that said rated R. It should make more. But after seeing the movie and saw the direction, how they went with it,
Mm-hmm.
it was done in good taste. It actually played into the factor of both trilogies into one film.
So you're on the side of Rob Manning then.
Correct.
Okay.
Especially if you're a person that knows the lore, knows everything about it, actually watch Markiplier and Corey and the rest of the YouTubes playing the game,
Mm-hmm.
you playing the game. This film is like your preteen type of version of Saw.
Okay.
Think of it's just a preteen version of Saw with animatronics. And for those who was thinking, oh, I want to see what I saw with Nicolas Cage's version,
Mm-hmm.
which was a gory fun fest. This one was more of a watered down understanding the origin story and each character's problems or whatever the protagonist's problems are.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually fits with the game. Besides the horror aspect and the jump scares, everybody's like, oh, I want to see scary. I want to see blood. Some films you have to let it go its route. You can't say Wonderland, whatever the other one was with Nicolas Cage. Sorry for saying it that way, but I just don't. I know it's Wonderland. Wonderland, because it wasn't a Five Nights at Freddy. It was something that was a stepping stone for Five Nights at Freddy to get its establishment. So Five Nights at Freddy could go in and be like, okay, we're a film. Would I watch Five Nights at Freddy again? Yes, I definitely would. Because this was very informative and
Which, by the way, points out something I saw the other day. It's available to watch on Peacock already.
But sometimes people want that movie theater.
I guess, but I was really surprised to see it that fast.
Yeah, because for those who wasn't sure, they watched it on Peacock and they could debate whether they want to go see it at the theaters or not. Or some parents want to watch the film before they take their kids to see if it's
safe. Yeah, that's a really smart idea. Okay, fair enough. Because the kid, the 6-year-old's like, I want to see FNAF,
and they was like, okay, let's watch it. Let me watch it. And if it's appropriate, we'll take you to the theaters and watch the film. Okay, child.
Well, they're already in production of the second one at this point.
Yeah, and I'm glad that this one, well, still with the writer's strike. I mean, not the writer's strike, the actor's strike.
You can still, I mean, at this point, the writer's strike is done. So they can write the script and they can do pre-production and all that kind of stuff. They just can't film anything without an actor or two. As long as they're, like I said, I'm assuming they're going to use SAG actors or fight core actors in this case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they can still get this pretty well going underway. And then if and when this Ruddy thing is freaking over with, then, yeah, they can start rolling possibly even like February of next year.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. The latest I'm hearing right now is maybe January, February. Same as pretty much the same thing I said like 5-6 months ago when I figured this was going to be running. But
right. But overall, this film was really good. I enjoyed it for what it was, and it wasn't like a Resident Evil where you actually have the director have his wife as the main character,
or the laser scene in Resident Evil.
The laser scene wasn't that bad. I like that.
What's that?
The laser scene wasn't that bad. I like the laser scene.
I remember actually watching. I don't do well in entrapment scenarios where there's no way out. That was a prime no way out, especially when the one laser was just like,
yo, because it was like, yo, when that happened, we were like, oh, he's going to survive this. And then next thing, when it did it, we was like, oh, you're not hopping
like, oh, shit. Dead. It's funny because that's the same. That guy was also in Arrow and also one of the best 2-part episodes of Doctor Who they ever had, too. Yeah. Silence in the Library. He was the same actor in that, too. I was very impressed.
Right.
He's a British guy, but I forget his name offhand.
Mm.
So,
But overall, like I said, everybody, for those who are curious about Five Nights at Freddy, I say give it a shot. Go check it out. Remember, it's appropriate for kids. Check the film out. It's not really that scary. It's not, well, yeah, it does have jump scares, but it's not that bloody. It's not
it's PG-13, so it's not that bad.
right.
You know, it's
So,
not like it's a horror R rating.
yeah.
You know.
So you'll really like the story. Some people won't, but the kids will love it because of the characters and also the cameos. So,
And because also at the same time, we also interviewed two people who from there. I think Freddie Fazbear and Chica. I think the other one. So we did at least have that going on, which is pretty cool. Credit to Rob Manning on that one. Credit to Austin also for doing camera work. But yeah, they're already in production of the second one. That's a cash cow waiting to happen right now. So you know what?
right.
Milk that cow as much as you can do right there.
Exactly.
So
other than that, what else do you want to talk about?
I think that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, we're going to do Rhode Island Comic Con, but obviously Rob's not here for that. You know, Ryan's on his way back at this point, but he's not going to be on for a little bit. So we may just hold his stuff until next week, or have him do a regular review too.
Gotcha.
So I think we're probably pretty good at this point.
Right. And
so you have to get up early too.
Yeah. Well, one last thing we should talk about.
Please.
I did watch Mortal Kombat Cage Match.
Okay.
To me, this is by far the most entertaining. Well, let me take that back. The first one from Mortal Kombat was Scorpion's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to Snowblind. Now we got Cage Match.
Mm-hmm.
And yours truly, you know, what's his name? Godfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert Godfrey was the voice of one of the characters in this film, rest his soul.
Yeah.
And this film was really, animation film was really done perfect. I enjoyed it. It basically showed the true essence of Johnny Cage from start to finish, his arrogancy and his killer charm.
Well, I'm looking at the IMDb right now. He was voiced by Joel McHale from Community.
Right.
Hmm.
And he did a good job voicing him because it was Johnny Cage all the way. You couldn't knock it.
By the way, quick question. Does Gilbert Godfrey sound like Gilbert Godfrey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. And the character he played, I'm not going to spoil it. He did play a certain character that represents Johnny, but when you get further into the story, like the movie, you will find out more. But it was an enjoyable film. I loved it. They kept Johnny the way they supposed to. If it was up to me, I really think that Cage Match maybe either borderline one from Scorpion's Revenge.
Okay.
Or two. Like it could be a tie, but I really think Cage Match probably took it as one.
Okay.
And then Scorpion's Revenge, and then Snowblind.
Well, I'll eventually get to that once I'm done with all the DC stuff. Now I have to go to Death of Superman, which I had. I don't know where I had it, but I had the book for Death of Superman, the hardcover novel back in '93. I wish I still had that though, but yeah, I mean, here's the thing: Mortal Kombat animations have come a long way since like Defenders of the Realm.
Right.
Yeah, for that 1990s, animation that was actually worse than Street Fighter the series, but came on right after it to piggyback off Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. See, if you understand, a lot of people looked at it as, okay, it's a Mortal Kombat cartoon show. They're not going to do it over the top where it's going to be fatalities and all this other crazy stuff. Because it was something to watch and make sure certain characters get relevance and there's a chance you may see them again.
Mm-hmm.
And it all took place probably like Mortal Kombat 3.
Okay. Well, see, Mortal Kombat 3 was great because Shao Kahn won. I thought, okay, that's clever.
No, technically he lost.
Well, no, Mortal Kombat 2, he won, and then, he lost in 3. But the fact that they set 3 up with him actually having won Mortal Kombat 2.
I thought it was he won on 2.
Yeah, he won 2
No,
and then died, then lost in
my
3.
bad. He lost by Liu Kang in 2, and then he just said, "Screw it, I'm just going to conquer the Earth realm anyway," and
Is that what
that's
it was?
what they did
Hmm.
because they didn't abide by the rules, and they were supposed to only they were only able to conquer if they had 10 consecutives. They didn't
Okay.
have 10 consecutives.
Yeah, that's right. Because they had 9 and then Liu Kang won 10.
No, yeah, he won 10.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. Okay.
And then Liu Kang won 2, which was Mortal Kombat 2. And that's when it was like, oh, really? Okay, we're just going to conquer Earth Realm just because.
By the way, sorry, I was looking up something completely random about Street Fighter the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things in the back of my head. I'm like, I got to look this up right now before I forget. Yeah.
But yeah, so Cage Match is a good watch. I would recommend it. If you're a huge person that loves Mortal Kombat, you'll love it. I already saw the ratings on Rotten Tomato and all of them. Look, go by
You're like, screw the ratings.
Yeah, at this moment, yeah, screw the ratings because you know what? Some of these people are getting paid under the belt, and I might get
either way. Yeah,
cancer for saying it, whatever. But being real, like people have to make up their own minds, check it out, and put your own opinions to it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can't always go by what people say because you may not like, they may not like it. Doesn't necessarily mean you may not like it. Look, it's all about your own taste in films and everything else.
Nice. But all right, do we have anything else? I have one small thing, but do you have anything else?
Nah, that's it.
All right, so we'll go back to this. So I'm taking a page out of your book, by the way, this week, all your books this week.
Okay.
And I actually have a screening of my own. The New York City Football Club, the soccer team out of New York, has invited me out to see the premiere, or basically an early screening of the movie Next Goal Wins by Taika Waititi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie also, with Michael Fassbender. It's about the American Samoa team that just got killed in like 2001. So the soccer team, the NYCFC, has invited me out to a screening on like 67th and Broadway for this Wednesday at 7:30. So I'll give my review of it at that point, possibly with some soccer playing in the background.
Now, also, please, on Tawaki Tati, how you say his name?
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Yes.
If you see him there, please mention me. Please mention me.
Okay. I'll do it. I mean, it's weird. I'm going to be hanging out with like the head coach and the players, but I don't know who's going to be there. I really don't. I was told first team, the players are going to be there, like the staff. I don't even know why I got this email. I mean, listen, I've worked with the team for 3 years, fine. But this is like one of the most random things ever. It's like, hey, we have this special event. We're going to go see a movie. You want to go? Okay. It's not like some kind of a charity event that they've got or something like that. It's like, we're all going to go see a movie together. Okay.
But you know what? Do it, because you never know who will show up.
Dude, I'm getting a free popcorn and free medium soda. And unlike the New York Giants, I do not require a season ticket to get a medium Pepsi. Oh, God, one of the most humiliating things in the team I've been a fan of for 40 years.
Wait, what happened? Wait.
The New York Giants, during the previous administration prior to Joel Sheen, they had a deal there where they would offer one medium Pepsi, about yay size, to every family that had season tickets. So if you went to a home Giants game, which, by the way, this was during the era when they had like the worst record across a 5-year stretch, they would give you one free medium Pepsi for your $400, $500 worth of tickets.
One free medium.
Just look it up. Yeah.
Wait. No. I kind of believe you, but then it's like, what they try to pull a I'm going to get you sucker moment, like a one free medium Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's like saying one rib.
Yeah, by the way, this is from Giants Wire, just to read it. Part of the festive season ticket holders will be given one free medium Pepsi. Not a large, but a medium Pepsi in a cup full of ice.
That's a large name.
And now they sent my quarterback out, even though he was definitely not 100%. And now he's out for the year with an ACL tear. Good job, Giants Nation. You dumb shit.
while he drinks his medium Pepsi.
I sent a message to Dan Avidan about that today. It's like, what are you gonna do, man?
Hey, no, it's when you want to know when it's bad. Is when y'all lose to the Jets.
Dude, they should have won that game. They had everything in their hand. I mean, even when basically a 24-yard field goal was missed, and you still say they had every opportunity, and then it's like, okay, 24-yard chip shot, missed it. Then went into overtime and blew it. It was like every single mistake could have happened, and it's like, oh my god, you dumbasses! It's like, oh, the team is 2-7. They're done for the year. This is the New York Giants I've come to know.
And I'm like surprised with the Jets. The Jets are doing their thing this year.
Yeah, they're okay right now. Not great, but they're managing. So,
yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
So yeah, you got to get up early unless you had anything else.
Oh, that's it.
All right, sir. So I'll call it at this point. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I'll let you guys know how the movie is on Wednesday. It'll be good. It'll be not good. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know if it's going to be an excess of comedy because of the way Taika Waititi decided to roll with Thor: Love and Thunder. The American Samoa team there might be ripe with comedy. Someone gets cancer and they make fun of it. I don't know. We'll find out. So anyway, until next time, I'm Scott. That's Day. Ryan's on his way back from the movie screening. And like I said, Rob Manning is on the way back from the other part of the country. Until next time, you guys, take care. Stay awesome.